Order for me, GD say, I bring him pepper, so away. So where they are nature say, and quam. I bring person new change a measem. As someone Yakupon, and your mammy say, Membrana menu, and meche. Said the bear nam side so at me, ama. GD would move at me, a costo. Near to me, a costo at me, dear afternoon. Near Kanye say, when Yamia, Utumia day night. Na the wire no so. Wo kwan no to me so with me as I be. Asama me dey bere you mato asem din say at the end point. At the end point. Na abra ye nche ho kra no. Ipe say dey asemi akunya menim kakra. Say the be ya Onyankopon nam saye so ebetumi ama ne tirimu pon ne botan ntia o dey asem no e ma me etimi abamusa. Ama me no mienu. Nya me dey asem no bere ene wa nti me so. Ono kwafo no nyame wa utumi ade nyina ye wa wo kebe mu wa wo hwegina. Wa wo na wa do utumi so ebade de wasem adom ni sabre ni sampempen so. Se me no ma meche. Bible nyane se ebade nam tirimu pon ne nsusu nti ebade onam so de asemi ma me se me no ma meche no ene embre musa. Bible nyane se mami a me de asemi ebade eba no ebade mintumi enye nhira. Na ebade wo kra bia so a obeti mi na wonye asemi ebade tie fo keke no be asemi e fo no. Menhira bia ebade e wa asemi no fadom sa wo kra. E ma utirimu pon no botaye ene de wo ma sa wo kra ne bia wo wi ase intumi embre musa. Ne hye wo nyame odi na no. Ene munyam kan ayi nkan hwan kan odi no so ye no kwafunti abere so watie na why the sama in Jesus Christ. Amen. And of course, say the big kind, the Sassamam di Bruno, but really say at the end point. Some case at the end point, and I didn't make patching. The Beko Tracy Moon now, Kunkuna, I do to Miss Betchin. The Betia say potty, the make patchy say at the end point. Now I'm saying, if I say, me chon I been see so kaka. Unzabra, we moon, a told a view on ma. Now, you can't say, what could do be a baby? A wabra, and I say, maybe potty be a wabra, wow. Now, we say, and that's what you answer. Now, we say, and one free baby aba. Now, a question, Yakupon Quampuere, a pow, and then a one summoner, Yakupon Semino and Meche. Now, we say, we really are Nessa. Now, when they say, Ubi Wanessa. And then one summoner, Yakupon Semino and Meche. Now, me nam, Nassam soon to me in front to Gigi. Say, Ibia, or could do some pension, we say, a wabra, and I see Bia. The can say, oh, number how be now, we say, how a day, and no name will be ya. Yakupon say, Yakupon see me to the dynamic country, say, the can say, a quang of home, and that's all home, or jail home. Now, a mouth red into me elbow, and I say, a mouth GD into me and Toba. Now, you also yanis over for sure to me and in the new GD. You are training rooms in open a coffee, so will be to me at your face hour. It's a Brian Chehon, you can't say, you look Tracy, but may they back from Palm what you are saying, and so to the blue I say. And as your eyes will be Pamo Wabra, and as it be a Pamo. Now, over we say, what could do say, war view. Now, 1 hour could do no first room. Why would you be warm? And a while won't be and forward the moon. A quest are now quest whopping. The buff mom what you see, pa. As some believe, said they are but Tiasem as see. As whopping, you need baby alpha. Now, quest a dear. At the corner Pamono, and as Windiana or Pamono. And they watch you where we answer. But then the Yakupon Simen Cancho say, a quiet home out, coin with the home. Brian Chow, young coach, you never the choice of Nika. You're free, I can cancel them free Exodus, chapter 14, verse 1 to 31. I can cancel no one. Now, if I saw what Tiasem Nasi, no who may be free the vehicle. Tina, minus son, said a bear, and we know with me, and then should be also to me a free assembly. That's in Yakupon anyway. So I'm reading Exodus chapter 14. Verse 1 to 31. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before 𝐴 between Megor and the sea, over against 𝐴𝚾, before it shall hear and come by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, and the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servant was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariots and took his people with him. And he took 600,000 chariots and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand, but the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside 𝐴 and before 𝐴𝐵. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honored upon Pharaoh, and upon all his host, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honored upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was as a cloud and a darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning, what the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariots' wheels, and that they drove them heavily. So that the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fight for them against the Egyptians." And the Lord said unto Moses, "Stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters become again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen." And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned his stretch. And when the morning appeared, the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of the pharaohs that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall upon them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. Amen. Order for the American Bible na then I'm patchy. We are bra you can say no na Israel for Egypt na omo esum na omo ye can say no omo servants na nyame suma na kwa Moses se onko no nko ji na Pharaoh na adwin say you can say no omo enko na Nyankopon de wo haw ne amane ebeto omo so na 𝐏𝐻𝐈𝐍𝐶 no Pharaoh ma okwan say omo na afiro mu ko wieye ko kura wieye na ye friend say Pharaoh ni say aba no so na o ka say adenti no ma Israel fu iko na o makọ ihu amu na be so mo ene oboaboa no nkofo ano na sojafo ene na ponko kafo no mututire say omuni Israel fu ya chi no mu san ko chi omo san fo mo mra nzumba na ye kan say no sa bere nsu na Israel fu iso akoduru bia yi na nyame ka che na ko Moses say omo enko tina bia yi bi omko bo mo sesen wo bia yi bi kire mo bia poti bi bo mo sesen wo na ko ba sa Israel fu no mo meka say omo ankasa no omo e confused ana say omo adwen tanta omo hu bi omo ye na ono Nyankopon nam sa ye so be dan ho di ama ne tumi ay kese wo Pharaoh ne nkofo so te de be ne nyam tumi bitimi adadi na Moses kan no ye Nyankopon ka kire Moses no oye ni sa na ye kan say no abra Egypt foi ebe duru ye na omuhu sa no onfi so mo sa kan ye friend say no Israel foi ewi da Israel foi so ye hwehwe omo na omo panic no omo nimse wo say de omo atamfo enyo mo wi kai ne hu say asma me de bring ma tu di say at the end point te wo duru bia ye bi wa abrabo mu ana say abrabo mu na ayo say ana so we as na ayo say da so ni bebia na me kai wo na masimi so ka che wo say gidie wo homa gidie wo homa na Israel foi humpopo na ye kan say no Moses ka che wo say mo humpopo mo to boase na omo hwede Nyankopon nam na basa kese so ni tumi so be ya mo na sa mizumfo mu hu mu bi na Nyankopon nam sa ye so etimi agye ne manfo Israelfo pa kokoko mu a mu na omutimi efa mu na Nyankopon ema kokoko no so ejiri ne fa ye kan se no mizumfo no Pharaoh ene na ponko kafo ene na sojafo ni nyina ana se na kofo nyina odofo ede na mpese me ne o eka wa ana ade na mpese me ne o echewa ye mpese me ne o kana se de mpese me ne o chewa ha nyina ne se abrabo emu wo wiase na etono bi wo ho ma ya na akwese ye duru bia ye bi ana mpempenso bia na akwese sa bredi ya twem ye ni bia akọ nze bigini mi dika ma example sa so bi pamu wo di wochi na akwese okoto se fesu bi wo ana se wo bi wo na wo na untimi huri ana se wo untimi famuko ya na akwese ni pakro no de opam no ne saka wo wi ana wachi wo wi sa na abrabo bi to bi ekoye abrabo ntimi de ko duru ba bi wo ana akwese ya twem ye ni bia ye fa mo free baby ama what you say nda so ni baby a ekwan na baby a what you say na akwesi Nyankopon po apai nesu Nyankopon say ndam na asem so me show nkwana me kan kire say there is a way the be asma me kan say Nyankopon mu no ni tumi mu no bibia ni ho say dey apem anase bibia ni ho dey enti enye ho what you say abra wo koso na do hoto nyame so na do ru ahye ni no there is always a way the be motor me na mo sa abra wo do hu ato nyame so na do ru ahye nyame mu nko ade God will pave a way for you because he's the one who make a way where there is no way what you say enti to rebi wa na akoduru abra bo hu na akoyese e kwan na bibia maye bibia ni ho ayefa pie akoyese otamfo bi o pam ye ne sa kan anase wo hawo na enemu na samane ne enemu ta amane no emene ye ne de Nyankopon se men kan kire wo se onu nyame na o pipe kokomu ma Israelfo fam no di nzunfo so kunu sa nyame no da so tiase na sa wo hawo na wo nemu ni wo hu ne de wote no ono ne no kwafo so betimi agye wo firi wo hia ne se obenya ni mugidi wo hia ne se odo wo bokoso ado ho ato so wo hia ne se wo bokoso hu se wo ye nyame na wo tunya de nyina ye na de wo ka na bam na de wo hye ne so egira wo hia no onze abra Israelfo no hu Israelfo no mo yam hye wo mo na ba wo me ti ase ne ba bia makan se wo start se wo panike na Moses ka che wo se mo ho popo mo mu nsuro na mo nyina pintin no mo hwe de Nyankopon e ba beye na saa Israelfo mu hu bi odofo dem person me ka che wo se de wo hu ne de wo nam gina pintin na saa haw na wo hu no saa wa haw no unse hu saa wa haw ni bi saa amane no hu saa amane ni bi abra wo koso no gina pintin na wo de wo hu ato nyame so na wo de wura hye nyame mi wa kan no hu se Nyankopon ne kofo se wo tumi so betimi agye wo fi saa wa haw ne saa amane ni odofo to da bi wo ha yetimi kwa amane bi mu na ama ejiji wo nyame mu no abrase to da bi wo no ma ye di ani hu bi ne de aso atibinti ya na akoyese Nyankopon kura no eni tumi se obetimi agye so ne de Nyankopon se me kan kire wo se wo nyame a wote ase wo nyame a onwuye wo nyame a oda so koso a etomso no boywia wo nyame a okoso a na wote ase na wo hwese de wakafa ne ma hono wo ma mitimi ebam ye hia ne se ye de ho beto no so de hia ne se ye de rebeshi mu de hia ne se ye ma ye gide woni mu ne ntoba ha ne akoso a ne ehu se wote ase wo Nyankopon a ye kan se no okay bem no shade na ema ye hu bi ne de afam binti no ema yintimi ema egidie enkofo manase entoba ha na yintimi emma ne emfiri na akwan so anase ye waka fa ye ho no yintimi enhwese ye be ma no etimi abom anase betu na mo a wasese betu no se de be ya de waka fa ye ho no betimi abom sa na me pese me ne o che bi kakra ewo asem mu points bi kakra se de be ya enam so betimi atu gidi na wahwe ne wo hu se emfa ho no de okumbia Nyankopon ne kwafo se betimi agye enti the first point no ye free verse 1 to 4 verse 1 to 4 I'm reading. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before 𝐏𝐻𝐈𝐍𝐓 between Migdol and the sea, over against 𝐴𝑠, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness hath shut them in, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and that he shall follow after thee, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Praise the Lord. Therefore, so ha Nyankopon emma Moses specific instruction say won kan che Israel for no enye. Say omunko baby poti no omunko bo mo sesen na eyesa Egypt for no hu a resume for no hu mbeka say o ma confuse mu nyim de mo ye. Therefore, sa wa hawle sa amane no eto na bia Nyankopon ye sa no de biri wotamfo ni so. Nyame ye sa de we so de biri Israel for ni so. Oh, inti ko ye sa na omso sese de o ma pem omo nkasa ko mu nim de o mo ye pe o ma ka ayi nim ye kan se no kwawe no so sese de nsa ko mo wi sa na o tamfo no beka sese de wa pem say the unim the oye. They say they are catch them up. What I say? There's no need Yakupon plan. A plan and Yakupon nam so said the bay or the confuse or any minimum. Said the bay or nam size with me at Joe, then you to meet me at daddy. I told you why a fun woman be. What I say? Nanny, now something. What I say? Now I say, wait dear, a coin of baby or Jim free baby ama. Now I say, you're crying him the air. Yakupon the cost had him, and then Yakupon may cost her process. Say the bear or nam sa process ni ma everything atie or nam sa process ni ma everything the confuse ye enemy no na what him nam so sad ndi agie ye enemy no kra be ka say e kan say no oh say dey ayeka what you say nyanso no nim say no na sa kwan so Yakopon nam so meeting e dey atie before the person me chew say emfa ho ne de onam ni de ohunu de otiri de okum bia no Yakopon e no kwafo trust it Yakopon process na o de wonamu sa kwan na nyame de wonamu onam so sa e de begem de ohia ne gidi de ohia ne so be yasutie ma Yakopon na de Yakopon be kan obedi so sa na bra wo ye de sa Yakopon nam sa yesu e begem na o tamfo no anaso haw ne amane na wonamu sa o haw ne amane no amen yen san kwaye the next point I hear no verse 10 to 12. I say, and when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. Amen. Order 4. I told you on ma, you call how be moon, you call my knee be moon, you quantity be moon. Na ama yigidi etimi ewo nyamimu no akofom anase atoba na namsaye so ne ye kansem bi ensem ani se ye de anoka ensem ani se free enu ba na de Yakopon masa wi atome ene esenka tibia na mbum dada no kwa nkeye ene be bia na mbo dada no kwa senkeye oti ase aha etoro bi ho a ye kwa amani bi mu ne de ani hu ne de asunti bi nti ye ke kansem bi etimi ke kansama na sa ansem no kwa etimi be ye numme be da ya brabo so isan se wose ye koso na etimi ye ho tunyame so ne de awehye nyame ne di nyame di se wo ne kofo se de waka fa ho be me na bam no ye hu ni sa na ye nye ni sa na ye de ano ke kansem na ye ke kan bombuo nsem ye ke kansem a ensem fata se wose ye ke kansem a emma Onyankopon kra no e de empentam emmeboaye se hwede Israelfo yi ka obuka che Moses se adentina ye kan se no odo ma ba ha se ommewu we ni nsemo mo ka kire no abra no mu Israel mo wo ye fence Egypt wo se ye kan se no ahweso wo form mfiri ho no mama mewu akwawe no so o ti ase aha na yese kometna eye mzum ho no ma sum zumfo no since o ma bewu akwawe so look at this o ti ase to re bia sa na ya ne Ewurade we de nka meti biara da no kra nke ye na Ewurade nim se o de me ba ha ma se ya betum ya de tina de me ba na Ewurade pa wo tumi pa na nti wo ma sa de we atome Ewurade nti wo nyame ampa nye ki kansem bi o ti ase aha abra ye ko ha ne amanim wo se timi nye gidi wo Yakopon nye koso a ne ye gina pinti ne hu se Yakopon ne kofo se de waka fa o metima ma na bam no ye nye sa na ye ki kan bumbum sem empesa me ka kire se odofo emfa ho ne de ohu bi emfa ho ne de otibi ne emfa ho ne de koso abra bu nye gidie ne hu se Yakopon ne kofo se obetimi agyew sa abre ni sa mpempemso na oso koso na otimi nyanya mi gidi na do tu Yakopon so yi na okoso na bom paye na onya rehemu Yakopon mu se bebi bia ofa ofiri bia na bebi bia oso odo ku bia odo kokudu na se emfa ho ne de ato bia na amane bia onamu no we ne kofo se de waka fa sa de no no so obegyew so otumi wade nyina so na de woye bia no so de wo ho kwan se wo sa de otimi ye bi se Yakopon otimi gi Israelfo yi a gidi ne kai hu se emfa ho ne baabi woduru bia na se o em point bia woduru abrabo mu aye wo se emwa ntimi firi baabi ama ana wo gye ntimi firi baabi ama na se point me da baabi ano Onyankopon ne kwafo so betimi agye so Jesus afo ne dia wo ne kwafo so betimi agye de ohia ne so begina pitin na wo timi de wo ho aton so wo hu se wo ne kwafo se de waka no obetimi ama no abamusa ye hwe the last point no ye fa free verse 30 no to 31 ye hwe de wo so ye kan say ye wo no see the last point no. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore, and Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. Amen. So wonderful. Na afiro mehu de Onyankopon nam na basa kese so ni tumi aye amom afide o ma ginyame di o mo mrehye nyame na ye kan say no o musuro nyame na ye kan say no o munya rehye mu nyame ene na kwa Moses mu wonderful. Saade na wonam ni sa wa hawo nyame bejo na wonam sa ye so ama nyame nam sa ye so ama ogidie emo de ato nyame nam sa ye so atimi ama nipa nyina ade ehun de wayo nyame nam sa ye so de say ebema wo atimi adi adanse akira fofo wa ka akira fofo say di Nyankopon atimi eyini saade wonam mu nyame bejo na ye kan say aya adanse di ama na watimi aka akire afofo watimi nam sa ye so te di adanse akire afofo afa Nyankopon wa ka akire ede aye futuo ede aye ye kan say na adanse die ede aye nsem kan aka se hwe sei na me famu Nyankopon atimi agye na ato afoforo so gidie mu amom akoso atimi de wo ho ade ato Nyankopon so no maka no mu se Nyankopon te ase se otumi ade nyina ye na de wo ka no ebam na no hye ni atimi gina wo te ase de wo namu no nyame bejew nyame jewa ebe ya dansidie ama wo ani afoforo na ababua wo ama wo gidie wo Nyankopon mu akosoro aboa wo ama wo akoso ana ata atokoso ade ho ato Nyankopon so na ade ho ato so yi na aso no nyame di no ene mu nyam me gidie se asemi abatu gidie mu se emfa ho ne de wonam ene de wokum na saabiri no behwe no hu se abre asema bai no batu Nyankopon so na wanya Nyankopon mu gidie se Nyankopon no kwafo se so Jesus afo no fi Misraim fo no nsem dia no kwafo se obejo mu nya ne se ru be shin na do ho ato no so yi na wanam sa yeso etimi amasa abom ama onyame enka ho na wonte ne mu kyew abenyem pepe so. Until we meet in the next one, peace, shalom, bye.